Uh, all right. So, David Overturf, my friend, how long have we known each other? We've known each other for a very long time.
25 years about now. I directed you in a play at Billings West High School when I was
Yeah.
doing student teaching in 1996.
Yeah.
26 years.
Wow. Long time. He's been a friend of mine. This is not, by the way, an ad, a hashtag ad or a hashtag sponsor or anything like that. My buddy Dave made a book about his road trip, and this is me, like, you know, trying to throw him a bone here and get some eyes on it and get it sold out there. Um, it's a really cool. You'll see. He's gonna give us a little presentation. He's brought it. He's brought a whole slideshow of awesome things. It's actually a video, but um, it's just a really cool book about a journey from Billings, Montana to oh shit, to Tulka to
Uh,
Tulpa.
well, 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 Billings, Montana, to the end of South America, which is technically Ushuaia, Argentina. Argentina, I should say. And then I drove up north a little bit, weaving in and out of Chile and Argentina, and sold the van in Talca, Chile.
Talca, Chile. Yeah, that's right, Talca. So, yeah, Billings to Talca in a van all the way, driving the whole way. Um, Another thing that you should probably know about Dave is he is fluent in Spanish and Klingon. But Klingon didn't really help. It helped in one town, in I think it was in Brazil, but mostly it was the Spanish speaking that helped him on his journey. He and you were a That's how we met because you were teaching Spanish at my high school.
That's right. I was doing student teaching, and my fields were Spanish and drama. I'm certified K to 12 in Spanish and 8 to 12 in drama.
Awesome, dude. Um, yep. So he's fluent in
Hold on,
Spanish. So
let me talk to this treatment Joe. Where are you from in Chile? And also, I'll just get it out of the way that I did not go to Brazil at that point in the journey. I couldn't. Brazil was too massive, and they speak way too much Portuguese. So I just stayed to the center of South America and just kind of. I think being from Montana, I preferred kind of the highlands. I couldn't.
sure.
I didn't. I was getting really quiet, and there was kind of blood in the water as I touched South America. I was like, I got to get down there and start to worry about seasons and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I did drive through Treatment Joe. I did drive through Puerto Varas. Lovely little town on a little lake down there. I believe Puerto Varas is the one that presents like a little German enclave down there. If I remember correctly, Puerto Varas. Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, Treatment Joe's from how would you say it? Would you say it San Diego? San Diego. He's from San Diego? No, I'm
I
kidding.
doubt it.
Santiago.
Santiago, el
Yeah.
capital.
Yeah, the capital of Chile, right? Yeah. Chile.
See?
It's so funny
Uh,
to hear you like speak Spanish because you really do try and like accurately pronounce it and use the colloquial like tone and way of speaking. I'm sure you have an accent to them, of course, but you do it a lot better than a lot of people that do speak Spanish, but they speak it with a heavy American accent.
mm. Well, that's good to hear because I can almost hear myself gringo. I lived a year in Costa Rica from 99 to 2000, and then I lived 6 months in Barcelona, Spain, 2002 to 2003. And then this road trip. So I've got kind of a mutt Spanish, but what we learn here is Castellano in the United States, which is kind of academy Spanish. It's probably the equivalent of British English if you were to learn an English as opposed to American English.
Oh, sure,
Um,
sure, sure.
so so Castellano is what I learned. So it's pretty proper, and the trick is kind of getting in. Imagine traveling around different parts of America and learning lingo and how they phrase stuff. That's the difference in Spanish and traveling southward.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, no. Since I started doing Twitch and stuff, I've become a better student of the world and learned how to differentiate things like like uh like Spain Spanish, Mexican Spanish, South American Spanish. Like there's all kinds of, you know, different dialects, and it's makes sense because there's different dialects in just the United States, and sometimes in this, like, just one state itself has like 4 or 5 different dialects.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't even cross my mind. It's like, no, 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 they speak Spanish everywhere the same way. No, 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 that ain't the case.
There was I'll just answer Killian Hart. Did I travel the whole mountain range? It's interesting. The mountain range really starts in the Western Hemisphere in Alaska, and we call it the God, I can't remember what the
Rocky Mountains.
well, we call it the Rocky Mountains, but I'm thinking of Canada. Why am I missing that? The Canadian Rockies, I guess, right? So it kind of dips in doodles, but it really follows the dips and doodles. Pause for that. All right. So it kind of dips in and out of Central America, but it continues that same mountain range becomes the Andes in South America. And yeah, I kind of did travel. I wouldn't say I crossed those at some points, but kind of at the foot of them. Um, the highest I got was I camped at a campsite in Ecuador at Mount Cotopaxi, and it was 15,000 feet. But I spent weeks between, like, I don't know, 8,000 and 12,000 feet in southern Peru and Bolivia. So we call it the Altiplano, which is the high plains, and it was lovely, and I got used to it. And I went hiking around 16,000 feet, which
Is it
we
is
took.
it tough to breathe up there?
Well, when you're driving a 2005 Dodge Grand Caravan, you can kind of get acclimated. You're not like flying into a place and being dropped off. So you've at least got, days to kind of go up, um, inclines and whatever, and get to higher elevations. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pauses during that little 16,000-foot hike to take some pictures, and I had a local guide. And you guys are going to see a lot. I'll say this, that part of these presentations and stuff. I'm doing one at the Billings Public Library, and I got to thank Zeke for doing this because I've been trying to peddle this stuff in this program called Project 1000. It's it's Project 1000 Volume 1. It's 29 pictures with 1,000 words each because I took 28,000 pictures over the
So
15-month road trip
real
and
quick,
then came back.
real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
That's the whole title of Project 1000. One picture, 1,000 words. In case you know you were wondering about that. Bye, Dave. Okay. You're
Yeah.
you're
So,
oh
so
you're going into it. Okay, let's go.
Well, no, no,
Oh,
I'm just putting that while we're talking about it. So yeah,
okay.
it's I took the road trip and then I came back. I had an idea when I lived in Spain to combine a picture with 1,000 words because I've always fancied myself more of a writer than anything, especially recently, and I supported myself as a photographer. Um, and so I kind of had a chip on my shoulder that these digital cameras, which I came in on, I never was into dark rooms or anything like that.
Mhm.
But people started liking my pictures. What happened there? What happened? Did it go away for you?
Yeah, I don't see. We have a black screen, homie.
What's going on?
I don't know. Now you're back.
Well, it just kind of took a shit. Anyway,
You're asking me like I'm there. Like, hold on.
well,
Let me get to it. Get
well,
on it.
I'm just making sure because I've only got OBS open right now,
Right, right, right.
and so I'm not seeing the feed. Just making sure.
Yeah,
That I really did take a shit. Anyway,
yeah. I don't know what
so
happened.
I wanted to combine a picture in 1,000 words, and I was coming back to America and thought, um, I don't know if there's programs overlaying the present. I don't know what happened. It just seemed like it timed out in OBS that slide or something.
It's
I
not
don't
on a
know.
loop, probably.
Maybe I gotta fucking loop it, huh? Okay. Anyway, so as I was preparing to come back to America, I knew I needed something um, to look forward to for various reasons, not the least of which was politically. But so I decided to come back and I hold up and outside of Seattle for 22 months and put together this website called Project 1000. I learned Drupal, got my ass kicked by learning that platform, but making a multi-user website where people could create accounts and upload their own picture with 1,000 words. And we'll get to the yeah, the specifics of that in a little bit, lightly, as per Zeke's suggestion.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we can roam a little bit. And
It's your
someone
show,
mentioned
Dave. I just want to sell your fucking book. And
what?
that's what this is about, really. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's what the core of it is. But just know that Dave isn't a big idea guy. He was like, I'm gonna do this Project 1,000 thing. I'm gonna teach classes. I'm gonna get students. I'm gonna like tell them, like, teach them the joy of taking pictures and writing stories and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, Dave, let's consolidate, focus on selling of your fucking book. And then if they like the book, then they can contact you about like providing you with their own content.
yeah, yeah, and point well taken. Because I can sometimes come out like a fire hose. You know what I mean? And I do want it to be digestible, but I think it's pretty simple. And I think the trouble I've been having, I probably had about 8 or 9 presentations in Montana, all of them. And I fancied this great tour, my book slash Project 1000 World Domination Tour,
Mhm.
where I get all these people to sign up, and not one fucking person has signed up. And I think it stands to reason because this whole notion really does. Uh, Ask a lot of the world, maybe especially America, but in this technological world. And I'm aware of this audience of gamers, but I think people can be two things at once.
What?
This short attention span, but yet I'm asking people to stop and focus on a picture and tell how you got there, and tell the journey it took and the people that were with you and what it meant in the context of your life. And I thought I'd get the ball rolling by writing this book of 29 pictures, 1,000 words of my journey, and then going out and uh, I Scott Evans. I thought about that. Someone mentioned that they didn't know if Zeke could read. He can read. I've written scripts for him to read, or he's done very well. Um, but
Oh,
yeah,
funny
you got
enough, speaking of Dave writing scripts, that's how I got my name. That's how I got Ezekiel the Third. He was the writer of the uh sketch scene, recurring sketch scene that I was in, where I played a character called Cousin Zeke. And that was the jumping off point for when I started on Justin TV. I needed to have a screen name. And I tried Cousin Zeke. I tried Zeke first, Cousin Zeke. I tried all the permutations until I landed on Ezekiel the Third, and that one stuck. And it's all because I was in one of Dave's sketches. He is the progenitor of my name. He's my Twitch daddy, basically.
so I'm just putting can I put my email address in here or no?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just Killian is having some suggestions for the website, which I will always take. But I'm never going to see this in chat. Is there a way to print this chat at the end? See,
What do you mean?
can I print the content of this chat or save it? Is it just a select all type thing or what?
That is so weird. Like, yes, I
What?
think you can. Um, but there is a site because I don't even think about it because I view the chat as like an audience and it's like a live audience. So I never think about like, revisiting chat because it always seemed like I was having a conversation with, a couple hundred people, whatever. And it never occurred to me to do that. Um, but I think there is a site that you can go back to chat or something. Is
Wait a
that a
second.
mod thing only?
Feminine carry print. I wasn't gonna print the paper fucking thing of the chat. It would be a PDF print. Come on.
You can
I am.
you can
I
screenshot it.
can. If I can figure out Drupal, I can figure out. I just wondered if there was like a little whatever, a little button on here to save it. But
Can you
I'm not gonna
screenshot
print
it?
this out. I can. Well, that's what I'm wondering. I think I could just. Yeah, you can just select all. Just Control A. We're good.
Okay. If you'd rather do that
And
than Windows button print screen.
that would just I think that would just do this only the screen that's on the visible on the monitor right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. But I want to do the whole thing in case some of these. I want to read through some of these suggestions.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I put my email address. Okay, so all right, fuck, are we going? Are we going? So let's do this.
Okay.
Um, so we have the book, right? And then we can where's the watch this shit. So I thought it would be uh I thought it would be worth it to read out loud the preface of the book. And you're not
Absolutely.
are you not visible on your camera right now, Zeke? I can't tell. Are you
No,
visible?
I'm on screen right now. I'm on stream. Yes.
Show the lovely people your book.
I did.
So I'll just read.
Here's my
I'll
book.
just. Oh, okay. I'm not. Okay. This is the thing. I
My
only have to
bookie
check.
book. Here, hold on, hold on. Don't read it yet. I'm gonna go full screen. I'm gonna show people the book. This is it.
Mm.
Road Trip, David Overturf, Project 1000. It
Oh
has
well.
pictures and 1,000 words. 29 of them, you said?
Yeah. Hey, I can mute your YouTube thing and be okay. You're a little bit behind, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
keep
You
going.
can do that. Absolutely. Yep.
Derp. All right.
It's
So let's
glossy.
read.
Okay. So
I
let me get back to
it
that
is it
scene.
is it is glossy. It is 123 pages. It is it's lovely. I was
It smells wonderful.
it smells like a real live book. It's soft cover because I'm not made of gold. And I was kind of in a tight spot because uh there's there's colored pictures in there and it's all or nothing. So I had to pay for colored text for the rest of it. You can't just separate these 29 pages to print in color and the rest of it in black and white. So I did pay a premium for really colored pages of black text on the website. Anyway, let's. I'm just
I'm
gonna.
dropping in our Discord, personal Discord here, a message that you might want to take a look at later.
Okay.
It's not important right now at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Lovely. So this is the preface. It bears noting this is kind of what this. Yeah, I'll just let it fucking speak for itself. I had someone suggest just read your shit. This is the maiden voyage / output of Project 1000, a movement, a community, a resource, and an outreach program centered around the notion that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Except for the preface, the acknowledgments, and the resources at the end of the book, all entries are presented using this same ratio, one picture to 1,000 words. In the spirit of Project 1000, these are not necessarily the best images of the road trip, nor do they tell all the stories of the entire journey. I long battled mightily towards this want, feeling obliged to include all places, all people, all moments. Finally, I surrendered to the impossibility of this. The only way to finish the book was to realize it would never be perfect, all encompassing. It could never be everything. In the end, I chose to tell some stories in the spirit of this website / community, which was largely conceived during this very journey. As the website FAQ states, this is neither a photography nor a writing competition. You don't have to have a camera. Your pictures don't have to be perfect. Your writing doesn't have to be eloquent. What we are after are real stories about real pictures taken by real people. There need not be perfect lighting, nor should there be fiction. These are actual memories, accounts, estimations, alterations, and the like. We hope this is the first of many collections published under the auspices of Project 1000, a great resource and outlet for writers, photographers, readers, educators, community groups, and social justice causes.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Sorry about that. I like right when he started reading, I took a drink and it hit my panic button in the back of my throat. So I had to have a coughing fit. Thankfully, I muted myself in time. But goddamn, that happens so much to me. I hate it. Um,
So I just want on that note, I thought it'd be wise to kind of go in and talk a little bit about Project 1000.
absolutely.
And we'll see here how this works. There's
Yep.
you. All right, so here's Project 1000. This is probably where we're gonna get some notes. What's up? We okay?
Yeah,
We're
no,
solid,
I'm
right?
sorry. I wanted to apologize for the sometimes it takes a second to go from uh a little blurry, a little pixelated to clear
Oh,
because we are
oh.
doing all of this through a Discord call. Um, so bear with us because you know sometimes bandwidth takes a minute to catch up.
Yeah, I did adjust these videos. You'll be happy to know that I adjusted them via a lovely application called Handbrake that let me reduce the resolution. I don't know what it does. It was fucking magical. And there's a little setting in there called Discord.
Oh, nice.
So I adjusted these videos that should turn out better than the native ones that I rock out. Anyway,
Very
this
cool.
is Project 1000 that is talking about. If this book tells a story of a road trip, but it also introduces this thing, this community. And again, Project movement, community resource outreach program. You're gonna hear that a couple times today, maybe.
Okay.
This is the on just about every page. There's this little banner at the top that shows how to get to the book and order books and whatnot. There's all sorts of stuff while we're here. Just fucking go. Why don't we just go? Yeah. So there's a little ribbon. That's not the usual cover. It's a holiday cover.
Yeah,
What's up?
it doesn't
Uh,
come like that. It comes
there,
like this. There's no
yeah,
ribbon.
it comes with. There's no ribbon. So there's a holiday sale. Regular price is $30, but no, ho ho ho. There's fucking funny, dude. So there's a 10% off 1 to 5 copies, 15%. If it's a simple one you're ordering for yourself, just push it, add to cart. That's quick. But if you want to send stuff out, there's a way to include some mailings for if you want to send some to some people that you think might like it. Various shipping destinations, and then you just tell me how you want. I want 1 copy sent to Zeke, and I want 2 copies to send to my friend and whatever. Just make sure all that's included there, and we'll get it. We'll get that shit shipped out. And by we, I mean me.
Mhm.
I love taking adventures to the post office, which is getting pretty treacherous these days. By the way, right around holidays, it fucking doesn't. It's no joke. Anyway, on most every page there will be this navigation bar at the top with various submenus. I've spent a lot of time, y'all, and that's kind of the drag. And it's been really slow going to get people turned on to this. And I don't know. My brother was brutal
Well,
and tech.
when you told me about like, and no one's signing up, no one's doing this, and it reminded me of the stories of friends who were like, I'm gonna go to LA, I'm gonna go to New York, I'm gonna get on Broadway, I'm gonna get into movies and TV shows. It's gonna be great. And then they're like, no one will hire me. And I'm like, that's kind of the thing. Like you gotta not
Well,
only hustle, but you gotta get fucking lucky.
well, that's the thing, right? And I learned this at I graduated from same school as Zeke did, and a little bit earlier in 1989, and I moved to Hollywood, California, right out of high school, and I felt that in my bones, bro. It was not, this world is not necessarily it's not about talent. Not only about talent, I should say, but it really is about luck and perseverance and hustle and being able to sell your soul in in varying ways to get where you want to be. I think
Mhm.
maybe that's a little too much, but I think that
Sometimes
perseverance and
that's what it takes, and it sucks.
right.
Yeah,
I think there is a part of that. What am I willing to give up?
yeah,
Yeah, and that could be various things. But
yeah.
I have
Crizzle says not only soul but whole as well. You'll have to sell your whole.
well, that's part of what I was getting at with willing to give up. Am I willing to give up? Am I willing to give up the 2 hole? You know what I mean?
Killing Heart, important question. Do you do international shipping? I'm in Ireland.
Dude, I sent one to. There's 2 copies in Dublin right now. Where are you? I got to get back to this. All right, I'm getting out of this.
Dave gets all jizzed up. He gets all like super hyper when someone mentions a place that he's been. Because he's been in a lot of places.
There's already 2 copies in Dublin. It's
Um,
fucking grand. I sent one to a 92-year-old woman named Joan Giblin. She's got one. There's a I can't help it. It's just my marginal Irish accent.
Yeah,
There's on this page here again. Hey, that was. Oh, I'm not there yet. There we go. Uh, on this page, back to the road trip page. There's what is it? Let's read a review.
come on.
Right on cue. Look at that. Look at that right there. 91-year-old Joan Giblin reading the book in Ireland. How about that?
That is really
Isn't that
cool.
touching? Isn't that touching?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
So
here we.
speaking of pronunciations, you still say Barcelona?
Yeah, I can't. I never learned.
That's why I love you, bro. It's like
I don't know.
I can't say Barcelona or Belize.
It just sounds like, yeah, it sounds. I can't. I say Barcelona, and because in Barcelona is in the region of Catalonia is what Castellanos say, but they and those who are from there they believe they believe they call it Catalunya with UNY, and they speak Catalan.
Interesting.
And yeah, that pronunciation would be in tune with Catalan and Spain. Man, they really are proud of their regions and their different dialects. I think that's where that's where it kind of comes from. And I just there was a great, not only a uh, nationalism which they have in their history in their civil war and fascism, but they have a real nationalistic, regionalistic, I should say.
Mhm.
Barcelona was a lovely place to live, and I've been there. I lived there for 6 months, and then returned a couple years ago, and it's just a really cool town. Beautiful architecture, Antonin Gaudí, Sagrada Familia. Yeah, highly suggest Barcelona.
All right, let's do it, Dave. Presentation time. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Well, we've already started.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were starting. I thought you were
Yeah,
starting with the
yeah.
video.
No. This the preface is the beginning. And I do show that and read that because I think it's that important.
Okay, it is
I will
important.
just yeah. So this is from one of the earliest uh I call them submissions. A submission on the website is known as a picture in 1,000 words. So this is, I'm not going to read it in its entirety, but this one is from Starting Fires on page 6. I'm going to cover up the. Let's do. Oh God. Oh God. All right. I fell in love with Chicago. My sister and 3 nephews lived a half hour west. Michael Jordan was leading the Bulls in their quest for a second three-peat. Chicago was the home of the Poetry Slam, and there were great spoken word open mics all over town. There were the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and there was jazz. A straight razor shave at the joint beneath the elevated train sealed the deal. Hardly anyone came to the play, and the cast would regularly just end up watching the Bulls game on the small TV in the box office. I decided to stay in Chicago, remaining there for 2.5 years, ironically, largely teaching. I was 9 months into a substitute teaching gig, which paid my bills and offered me job flexibility. It also offered the most terrifying front seat view of the daily dysfunctions, injustices, and horrors being perpetrated within the Chicago public school system. That's a whole other 1,000 words, perhaps a few. But the result was me being burned out, disillusioned, itching to split. So in 1997, before any semblance of the internet as we know it today, I began to assemble a notebook of vehicle and visa requirements for driving a vehicle from the US southwards. The dream was born. The work had begun. It would be 19 years before that dream came true. In the meantime, I needed to get out of Chicago. I visited my dear friend and college roommate in Queechee, Vermont. It was my first great solo road trip and my first life changing dose of the Northeast United States in the fall. It would be about 1,900 miles round trip and the first of many visits to that area at that time of year, where the latitudes and seasons cast some sort of gorgeous spell over the land, the air, the sky, the leaves on the trees, and those on the ground. This road trip would help release some pressure from the cooker, but it also might well have awakened a beast in me that has an impressive appetite for the road. I returned to Chicago focused on a trip far, far south. But the universe had different plans as a West Side school on its third year of probation called me about a permanent teaching position. Surprise! When I had taken the Illinois State Teachers Examination months earlier only to make more as a substitute teacher, my name was placed on a list. When I took the job in December, I was the third Spanish teacher. I finished that school year and came back for another full year after that. One day, I was correcting papers in my classroom. I heard crackling. Then I smelled smoke. Then I saw the flames. It was the third fire set in school that day. So that's kind of the point. This is a good illustration of that. Wasn't I didn't read the whole thousand words, but if you were to look at this picture, you would never know that. And the whole point of this thing is to um, give the context behind a picture. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
So
Well, sort of, but this is where this picture came from, and this it's point in my life. I mean, there's a reason that we take pictures, and we kind of I think this site strives to do justice to those reasons that we took a picture and what they meant.
so this
What?
is like a burned out part of a school?
Oh yeah, that's a
Okay.
classroom across. That's a classroom across from mine that got torched in the third fire on that day.
Well, dude, with all of your traveling and stuff, I looked at this picture and I thought this was like some abandoned village in middle of Central America or something.
No, no, this
This is
is
a
this
burned out
is
school in Chicago. Fuck.
yeah. I
Or a
think because
schoolroom.
that's well, the first, not to ruin it, but the first couple give kind of a history of road trips and also kind of an introduction to me a little bit and where I've been and I do think that something happened on that trip to Vermont where I wanted to um uh that need for the road really was born,
Mhm.
and so I felt that picture was worth putting in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um I'll keep it going here just because they're in order. All right, this is from Simmering. Again, I'm not going to read the whole thousand words. Um, this is from Simmering. In 1999, I pulled out of Chicago, packed up my things, and brought them 1,250 miles back to Montana, and was one of 4 adults to bring 14 kids from Montana to Costa Rica. When the group returned 2 weeks later, I stayed behind. I ended up finding a job making good money, renting cell phones. Unfortunately, the Costa Rican immigration department showed up one day asking for work permits. The boss helped me from being deported by paying a few bribes. As per the deal, I went to Nicaragua for a long weekend, but I was officially freaked out. I quit my job, rented a cheesy little 4x4, and spent my last 3 weeks rambling around luscious Costa Rica, including 1,200 miles in a sweet Suzuki Sidekick. I left Costa Rica on June 29, 2000. Mechanical problems, etc., caused me to miss my flights from Denver to Billings. And as it was the 4th of July weekend, there was no getting out of there for at least a few days. I was not alone. There was a couple traveling from Italy on their way to Yellowstone National Park who were in the same predicament. Shortly thereafter, I called mom. To tell her I would be driving home and to maybe get a room ready for a nice Italian couple I had met at the airport. Claudio and Paola would stay a few nights with us in Billings, where we would have barbecue and take them to their first baseball game. 3 years later, 5,000 miles away, they would open up their home to me in Cella Ligure, Italy, at the tail end of a 60-day train trip through much of Western Europe. Some of the best people I've ever met, and certainly one of my favorite couples ever. Mom had taken a job in Cleveland. We packed up the house I grew up in and headed out. She straight to Cleveland, me to New York City, accepting a friend's offer to come out and check it out. But I would be taking a more circuitous route via Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton National Park, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Tucson, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Oklahoma City, Little Rock, Memphis, New Orleans, Birmingham, Atlanta, Asheville, Lynchburg, Chicago, Cleveland, Buffalo, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and Boston. I arrived 45 days and 8,000 miles later during Game 3 of the 2000 World Series. There would be a 2,000-mile return to Billings a few months after 9/11, and an 1,800-mile road trip with my father and his wife, who visited me in Barcelona during Christmas 2002. It would be 12 years until I would see any meaningful road again. I would start a photography business, sadly shying away from my writing for this new, shiny, easier thing that proved it could make me some money. Soon I was renting a studio slash art gallery. Then I acquired some apartments. Then I stopped paying rent everywhere by putting a proposal together to buy a building. The city bought it and helped, along with my parents, and I was anchored to Billings, Montana for the next 9 years. In 2014, I sold the apartments, paid off the remainder of my father's loans for the down payment, and my best friend of 40 years and I took a 1,300-mile road trip from Pau to Lourdes, France, then to Spain through Jaca, Pamplona, Burgos, Leon to Santiago de Compostela. Then it was north to A Coruña and Puerto de Bares, then along the northern coast of Spain through Arguero, Santander, Bilbao, and San Sebastian. We crossed back into France, passing through Bayonne and Bordeaux, finally settling around Bergerac for a week or so with his family. The dream that was born in 1997 never died. It simmered in a pressure cooker of dreams, its lid removed a few times. Costa Rica helped, New York City helped, living in Spain helped, cute little road trips helped. But still, there were haunting whispers from way south. I had a things undone list, and this was one of the longest standing entries. In the summer of 2016, the stars finally aligned. After 4.5 years of decorating the storefront window with for sale slash lease signs when business wasn't rolling and taking them down when it was, commercial property tire kickers gave way to a pair of serious and legitimate buyers. I was unattached and soon to be unencumbered by debt. The next right thing to do seemed clear. It was time to go on the big one. There was no plan B. Over my nearly 46 years, I had amassed some 45,000 miles of road trips, only 3 of which were solo, amounting to 11,000 miles alone. But they added up, opened me up, and prepared me, as much as they could. It was all a logical progression of an arguably illogical endeavor. Quit your job, sell your shit, buy a van, and drive far, far away. I did that. On December 15th, 2016, I headed out of Billings, Montana, on the road that was just then being sprinkled with light snow as the first storm of winter blew in from the west. That road would turn out to be 25,099 miles long.
I
So
love
again,
hearing so the thing about this that I want to impress upon people is it's that I was unsure about until I got the book and hearing you read it now is that these pictures or the words attached to the pictures are not just describing the pictures. They are describing what the picture meant to the picture taker and the journey getting there and the memories it brings up and stuff like that. So where was this taken? Because you mentioned so many places during that.
right? I mean, um, I'll wait for it to catch up here. So I think it fits best if the actual picture comes at the end. But there's ways that I think that I choose to describe it that like lead up to because like I said, pictures are not you know unattached to anything, and that's kind of what I want to do is give people the opportunity and show them that we can talk about the backgrounds of picture and what all went into this because this picture is not about me on a road. It doesn't exist in isolation. It is part of a continuum of our lives.
Mhm.
And I would argue that there's too many pictures right now. And I think this is almost a damn near anti-Instagram site. There's links on every page at the bottom of that website that Zeke found that you can go to the Instagram, but it just links you back to it shows the picture, but on Instagram you can't. I didn't like the format that you could throw 1,000 words in there. I don't know if you could. I wouldn't want to because I think these things are attached to stories, and I think the stories are more important, and the world could really use to more telling of stories and hearing stories and realizing that there's a big world out there and we're closer than we think. And I mean, even this chat on here, um,
Yeah,
you
speaking
know,
of chat, by the way,
there's
if Dave has the chat open, so if you like have any
Yeah,
questions
I'm
or
gonna.
comments or anything. He's reading the chat.
Yes, I am, and I'm trying to. I forgot to break in between these, but I think it gives a good reason to have a little chat in between these readings. So, although I think I had a friend, there's a YouTube channel that's also linked to on the page, and I've got most of my submissions. There's a mechanism on the website where I encourage writers, which on the site are called contributors. I encourage contributors to make an audio version of their submission, so they do what I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
um, where they have the picture, and I dump it into a template I have, which shows the title, shows the picture, and just has them reading. Because I have a friend of mine that says people love to be read to. She's another actor friend, but I think there's something to that. Um,
Absolutely. No, no question. And and,
so
and
hopefully.
someone in chat said it was Killian Hart said very relaxing reading cadence.
Mm.
My dude, really nice. Mista said, yeah, he's a great orator. And the funny thing is, usually when talking to Dave, it's like he's spitting out sentence fragments and fart noises. Um, but like when he gets into like, you know, poetry mode, like you totally hear a like paradigm shift in his fucking voice and timbre and timbre and all of that stuff. It's very Alex Trebek of you.
Hey, yeah, I think there's something to that. I mean, I'm a trained actor, and there's a definite it's a performance thing, but there's probably a little bit different interaction between right now and when I'm reading for sure. And we've just spent a lot of time on stage, and especially that open mic stuff. Like we used to have a great spot called Art Space in downtown Billings,
I was
and
just
it was
telling
just
Katie about
where
that.
yeah, it was really where I cut my teeth and opened me up to go to Chicago and read at the Green Mill in northern Chicago, which is the home of the poetry slam place called the Green Mill that Al Capone used to hang out at. Really cool. I do have a bit of ADHD. Thank you.
This is so nice. I will order a copy of your book from Von Kell.
You guys are the best. I don't see any, unless I'm missing. I don't see any errors. That's good. Any overloads. I see some people bailing, which is all right. I get it. I get it. Believe me.
Well,
I
this
spent
isn't
a
their
lot of.
usual fare of,
I know.
watching me fuck up in a video game. But
Yeah. Yeah.
this is, I mean, you're a friend, and I love your shit, and I think you're like, I talk shit about you, but I think you're an amazing art creator and writer and all that shit, and I have absolutely no problem taking the video game watcher hit to show this shit off, man. This is really good shit.
Well, you'll be back, right? I mean, you're gonna be on here. We're already an hour into it, huh?
Oh,
Oh, there was
don't.
1,000. There was 1,500 people earlier this week. Oh my God, I'm sorry, but this is it's lovely. It's
Well,
it's
no,
lovely. It's
dude,
okay.
dude. Don't even worry about that. We like my channel is so like eclectic when it comes to like the video game choices. My numbers go up and down all the time depending on what game I'm playing or if I'm, if they enjoy it or it sparks some sort of like interest or nostalgia. So like I'm all over the place numbers wise. So don't even worry about that. But
All right.
continue on.
Well, this is too high class for us, says Joel. Cool, but somebody somebody else might like it, so please uh, forward it to someone, buy him a book, or just forward him to the website. I would love. I think as much as anything, my struggle. People have asked me. The book is one thing, but I spent so much time, 3.5 years developing Project 1000, that I would rather have people interacting. If I had to choose, it would definitely be people interacting with the site and writing and creating and getting me in touch with teachers that can create um, groups and stuff like that. We'll get to a little bit of a. Oh, we'll do it right now. If we want.
Hi.
What?
No, I just saw you were watching my stream.
There he is. So there's ways to create groups on here, and there's a mechanism. With my teaching background, I decided that it would be smart to first of all, I created, individual users could create their accounts and do their things, but then I created it so that teachers could create accounts. And my friend Jonna Mandeville was the first teacher to create an account, and she brought on, I think there's 18 students and 14 submissions here, and it's really great. And it's just a great way to house um, for kids to write and then just show off their writings. Their place they're published right now, And I mentioned, that this book would hopefully be the volume one. Hint, hint, hint. There'll be subsequent volumes of Project 1000 output, and hopefully they'll be like the best of 2022, the best of students, the best from Montana. Any one of these links right here. You go to let's look at AGJs here. So this is the picture. This is how they all are on the site. This is their 1,000 words, pictures first, and then just in case something has changed from when you saw the picture at the beginning to where you see it at the end. Something might have you've learned something. So now it definitely might have changed. Same picture, and then there's all sorts of tags at the bottom here. This is the submission, and you can look up. I've grouped all these tags. So if I want to see uh, all the submissions with an image location of Helena, I can do that. And so it'll bring up all the images from Helena, and then you can link to those submissions. Kids, middle school kids apparently really like to pictures of dogs. It's really pretty cute. But so there's picture 1,000 words. If you go to their website, each person, of course, gets to create their real super basic user page. Uh-oh, we may be hitting the wall here. Nope. So yeah, this is the user page and their personal submissions. This is my admin view, so there's some extra stuff here. But you can make your favorites up here, your favorite submissions. So these are all the favorites that I have, and you can also do favorite tags. Is interesting
Um,
because once you, well, yep,
Someone
yep.
in chat is they're asking if there's any sort of punishment for going under or over 1,000 words.
A little story, a little lovely story here.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was out in Seattle, and my good buddy PhD, he was my first user, and he sent me a a submission. He sent me the picture, and he sent me 864 words.
Uh-huh.
And you can imagine my reply. And my reply was, "Hey, bro, it's not Project 1864. No one says a picture's worth 864 words." Ugh. Uh, yes, so uh, exactly 1,000 words. There's a counter on the website that will help you with that. If you want to write it in Word, of course you can copy over, although be careful because the PHP counter on the website is a little finicky. It's not going to be the same count as Microsoft Word. So I would be careful and maybe paste over 975, and then that's your final. This whole thing is really interesting to come up with the essential 1,000 words for a picture.
Mhm.
So that's kind of an example. At the end of that, you're going to put 975. So what are the extra 20 or 25 words that are going to fit in here? But that's kind of how 1,000 sounds like a lot. It's a page and a half, single spaced. It sounds like a lot, and then all of a sudden, at some point, you get into it and be like, "Oh my god, it's not enough." And then you get to edit stuff, and it's a really good exercise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, Twitter's going to 4,000 characters now.
is
So,
it really?
yeah.
Elon's out of control, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, can the image be constructed or illustrated, or do you want photo only?
Photo only.
Okay.
Good question. Yeah, we don't. I don't want to get into a graphic design competition. I think that goes against the grain of this thing to slow life down and just give attention to one single picture and the story behind that. I don't want to get into any um
Can
collages or anything. Yeah.
can it be a picture of a painting?
I've got one of those. I got one of those on hold right now, and it's just I had a friend. I had someone write one, and it was just a mess. It was this rant, and I'm like, "Did you read anything about the website?" And I'm open. This is a fluid thing, for sure. This whole website,
Mm.
but it's a work in progress. But I kind of have some real strong feelings about it that I think it should be I think a picture of art. Although I have tons of pictures of statues and stuff in Italy, so I could see writing a thing about this. But there's some. I don't know. I don't know about that. I would say if it's someone else's, I would be more open to it. But if it's just a vehicle to kind of, I don't know. I'm open. Really, that's a really good discussion. The pictures of art. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Open topic.
Okay. Just little nitpicky things that people are when you have
Oh,
a bigger audience, people will ask that, I'm sure.
oh, I love it. No, I love it. This is all. It's all good. You know.
Now, are you planning on going through like each one of these pictures, or are you skipping around? I'm
I'm gonna
com-
do
I'm
two. I'm gonna do two more,
okay.
and the next one is gonna be very enjoyable.
Okay. Because
Not
I
that
was
they're all
wondering if there was
enjoyable,
anything that was less, you know, on the road and more like pie in the face.
AI generated art. No, fuck no.
What are your
I don't.
thoughts on
I don't.
AI generated art?
No, I think that's an out. That's a no. That's a hard no. And I would say anyone could submit. Yeah, you got to submit a picture in 1,000 words again, right?
Yeah,
Anyone. This is not
you tell like punishment. Like
what.
you'd make him do it again. Do it again, but something different this time. Do it right.
What are you talking about?
If they submitted something that you hated or was against the entire idea of the thing,
You
make
know,
them do it again.
I'm purposeful. Outside of the content, like the idea of like the someone just uh asked about AI generated art, that would probably get a hard rejection. But
Mhm.
the ones about like a picture of a painting or a picture of a statue or something like that, might get a little more time. But otherwise, I don't give a shit. It can be a picture of, I got to be careful and figure out some moderation thing, or
What
maybe
if
ask for.
okay, hold on. What if it was a picture of my testicles on a Brillo pad?
Well, that's that thing I was just gonna say. That's the thing I was just gonna say. And who does that,
I
by
know
the way?
he does that in a
I
Christmas card.
I may have done that and put in a Christmas card. I was in Brooklyn. They were strange days, and not that that's a real strange day, but it was a God. I can share anything on my computer that is just
Please
crazy.
don't though.
God.
Please,
Yep.
I don't want
Yeah.
to get banned off of Twitch. We can talk
We
about it.
won't do it. Um.
I'd have to
So
make an argument that it's art and it's it's an artistic photograph and it's not real nudity. Like,
yeah. Well, I got to be careful because I just showed you my friend who's a teacher who has her class on here. So I got to be careful with. I have to come up with some moderation thing. If anyone's got any suggestions, admin at project1-1000.com. Aside from asking people's birthdays, but they can lie. I don't know how to. I don't know how platforms do it and ensure. I want to invite teachers and parents and anybody. To the as far as anyone submitting, yes, and I want to make it welcoming. So I don't know exactly how to.
so
Um,
submissions are not like you don't give them the green light. They are already they can just submit and be on.
no, I am the moderator right now, and I
Oh,
could
okay,
always
okay.
use some help. I could always use some help. There's a mechanism on there where you can join the team, or just send a an email to admin at project1-1000.com. But so it's all me right now, and I can let's say I can handle the volume right now.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of mods at the moment.
Yeah, mods is what you call it. Yeah. So yeah, I just got to figure out something to do with ratings for this kind of thing, and so it
Sure.
doesn't people don't get automatically turned off. Okay, look at that.
Oh, you
Look at
are
that.
using this one. Okay.
It's coming. It's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is. So this is the only picture in the book. It's my submission. It's my 1,000 words, but they are Wendy's. It is Wendy's picture that illustrates the 1,000 words this time.
Oh, okay.
And this is an excerpt from Boda Americana, which means American wedding, and it's on page 46. Zach, if you want to follow along.
Oh,
Cool.
let me get out my booklet, which is on sale right now on
All right.
1000.com/road trip.
Hey, so 46. You ready? All right.
I'm ready. Go.
Courtney was marrying Chaz. Zach and Wendy were attending on his side. as was I. The four of us were members of a comedy troupe in Billings, Montana, which, as I write that, I now feel the need to qualify because it does sound suspiciously bad.
It always does.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
had been a
wrong.
found I had been a founding member of Projectile Comedy in 2004. We designed, wrote, rehearsed, and performed a show that we took turns opening with 5 or 10 minutes of stand-up, then sprinkled in skeleton improv that filled in between what was mostly sketch comedy. There was a new 2 hour show most Thursdays for the next 5 years. Objectively, it was an impressive feat with a staggering amount of output. As everyone got older and busier, the shows shrunk to improv only. As of this writing, there is still a weekly show every Thursday. PCP.
Mhm.
I hadn't seen them since my farewell show a few days before I left, 10 weeks and a lifetime ago. My friends were staying at the Iberostar Paraíso Lindo, a 5-star all-inclusive resort north of Playa del Carmen. The cost was probably 150, 200 bucks per night. The amount they each paid for 4 nights of food/lodging was approximately what I had spent on the same during my entire 50 days thus far in Mexico.
Wow, shame us, huh?
The road, the road, the people, the places, all the things I had seen, heard, and done flashed before my eyes as I drove up to this sprawling fortress. My jaw dropped and my stomach turned, and I wondered what border I had crossed without knowing. These fountains, these fancy drinks and fancy glasses, this marble, this all you can eat and all you can drink anytime, all the time was not the Mexico I had come to know and love. It is a bit shamey, isn't it? Enjoy. I was held up by security at the entrance gate as they made a call. How dare they? Never mind that I had neither cut my hair nor shaved since leaving the US, that I must have looked like a crazed, scurvy-riddled captain of the SS Wacko van, packed to the gills with, well, lots of stuff. The
That's
The
great.
guards were the guards were perhaps a little disappointed to hear, "Yes, he's with us," and were obligated to allow my passage. Chaz was waiting for me in the giant entryway. It was good to see familiar faces. We chatted outside the reception office, then wandered out to the beach for a smoke beneath backlit white clouds, admiring too the Caribbean. Soon thereafter, a security guard pulled Chaz aside and requested either payment for me to stay, $75 until 2 a.m., or my departure. It was an easy decision. I left the opulent compound and got 2 hot dogs at a convenience store. Campsites were scarce, so I had to drive for a bit, finally finding a reasonable parking lot 15 kilometers north for some raw dog camping. I backed the van in, its tailgate obscured by bushes. It was the first of 4 nights guerrilla camping on the Yucatan. The next day, Zach and Wendy became the first passengers in the van. I picked them up and showed them a bit of my Mexico, and one of my favorite parts of it, cenotes,
Cenotes.
which are naturally existing sinkholes or caves that fill with water. Many Mayan cultures believe that Chilbaba was where humans went after their life on Earth, and that the entrance into this world was through these cenotes. I can speak to the otherworldly nature of these splendid places. I would visit 8 of them during my time in the Yucatan. Zach, Wendy, and I visited Kinha Cenote. It was a beauty, a leap of faith into a hole in the earth, water 10 to 15 feet below. There was a swing underground beneath the opening. We swung and swam and giggled and reveled and shrieked and beheld. It was a great, quiet drive before the highway that led back to the resort. Dusky Mexico poured through the open windows. Zach spotted me 75 bucks to hang out at the resort until 2 a.m. Thank you. The loveliest shower in many moons was followed by a delicious dinner. Steak?
That was nice.
Wendy led the drinking parade. It was way too late in the game for those sex on the beaches, which sent her into another dimension. She knocked over a candle on the bar table, then found her way to a theater, of course, and frolicked on the
Oh
stage.
my god, I forgot about
Bedtime.
that.
Zach and I walked her back to the room, whereupon she, one, demanded an assortment of food be delivered to the room, and
Mhm.
two, got real sleepy soon after this demand and promptly went night-night. Note, note, never, ever, under any circumstances, pass out in the company of members of a comedy troupe. The chances of you appearing in photos, harmless and playful, but decidedly inappropriate ones, more than double. Love you, Wendy. The next day, there was a lovely wedding on a lovely day in Mexico. I was glad to pay my own way. Until 2 a.m. then it was back to my parking lot.
Those pictures could fill another book, I think. Just those ones that we took while Wendy was fucking passed out. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that was
Um,
that cheered me right up. That was great. Um,
See?
no, I remember like doing that. I remember being like, because of course you have all of us have that friend who has a fucking destination wedding, right? And you're just like, we're all going to Hawaii, and I'm like, fuck you, like make me pay for this, like exorbitant amounts of money to go like to Mexico to a resort and all this shit. Like it would be one thing if I was doing it on my own, but the fact that I got to attend your dumb wedding for this, like fuck you. But that said, it was really neat. Not neat. Neat's not the right word. Eye-opening, I guess. Really eye-opening to see the difference once you exit the compound of the resort and go into real Mexico, like quote unquote real Mexico. It's the differences are stark and uh jolting. Because that's because I didn't really want to leave without like leave the resort without Dave because I don't obviously I don't speak Spanish, and I didn't want to get lost and I didn't want to get taken advantage of, because tourists, like you hear stories of tourists in all kinds of places being taken advantage, not just Mexico, but like everywhere in the world has places where tourists get taken advantage of because they don't speak the language or they don't know the culture or they don't know where to go and where not to go and stuff like that. So I didn't want to leave, but with Dave being able to speak Spanish, that was a good opportunity for me to go out, and we went to the next town over or the closest like actual uh town to the resort, and it was really cool to actually be immersed for however short period of time in actual, you know, in an actual Mexican city that wasn't like built for tourists. And also the cenotes were really cool too. I had never heard of them before. I didn't know what they were. But yeah, basically it's just like a hole in a like a rocky outcropping with the ocean underneath it. Um so you like climb down or jump in this hole in the earth and you're in this like underground like dome of rock where you can, just swim around.
They're magical. Yeah, they love them. They're my one of my favorite parts of the entire trip was just um, spelunking, and you just kind of some are like open, uh, like a sinkhole looking thing,
Yeah.
and then some you gotta kind of climb around and go through holes or whatever. But there's staircases, and they're very well done. But they're all over the Yucatan Peninsula. These lovely little
Well, it reminded
magical
me
places.
of little spots near like Yellowstone or up in the northern parts of Montana with the hot springs where like they're not national parks or anything. Or maybe they're in a national park, but they're not like kept up. There's no like railings or actual stairs or anything like that. There's trails, and these trails lead up to these hot springs in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then you
Yeah.
just sit in them, and they're naturally warm, so you can go. We went in the wintertime and bundled up like really hard, like just like down jackets and shit like that, and hiked up to these things. And then you just take off all your clothes and jump in the hot springs and you're fine because it's actually that warm to fend off the winter cold.
Was that Jerry Johnson you're talking about
Possibly, yeah.
outside of Missoula?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jerry Johnson. There's Lolo hot springs in Jerry Johnson. There's a couple around Bozeman.
Lolo, I've been to
Uh,
Lolo.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna do one more reading, and then I'll have mercy on y'all. And do some videos. This one is from Mark. I think it's the next one.
Okay.
Um, and this is, and I'll
Thank
just
you
say
for
this
the
is in
52 months, by the way, Bob Prepples, and thank you for everyone for sticking around. If
yeah.
if you did, I appreciate it. Just as uh, a reminder that after however long this goes, after that, I will be going back to, video games. So if you're waiting around for that, it'll happen. I'll let you know on Twitter.
And thanks for your attention again, everybody. This is I'm in Belize. This is called Mark on page 50 of the book. The Hummingbird Highway stretches just 86 kilometers, 54 miles from the Western Highway near the capital of Belmopan
So, well,
to
hold
the
on, hold on,
southern.
hold on, hold on.
What?
The what highway?
Hummingbird.
Okay.
Hummingbird Highway
Okay.
stretches 54 miles from Western Highway near the capital of Belmopan to the Southern Highway, continuing on to the coast at Dangriga. It is just as lovely as it sounds, and one of the very, very few roads on which I did backtrack. I spent a few nights camped in the parking lot of a hotel in Plasencia. In exchange for a rather expensive meal, I was allowed to park and have the run of the outdoor area, pool, shower, patio, and chairs. Plasencia was much more upscale than Hopkins. They shared some of the same shacks, but there was also nice homes, businesses, etc. There were more people and a more visible divide between rich and poor. I wandered about, was stopped in my tracks by a Jazz Cats ramp down version of Hey Joe, and caught up on writing and went with the special of the day, Meatloaf, at the Pickled Parrot. The highlight of Placencia was the nights at the ocean's edge, beholding the waves and the sand lit up by the moon. I headed back on the Hummingbird Highway, which led me to my second, San Ignacio, and Mark. Mark was an inspired, outspoken lunatic slash angel slash prophet slash troublemaker from Quebec, Canada. We met next to a bridge where overlanders sometimes camped. He was the exact thing I needed at a time I didn't realize I needed anything at all. He was at the end of what was a usual gig for him, buying a car in the southwestern U.S., driving to Mexico or Belize, then selling it off to pay for the trip. He said it helped with his periodic depression and had much good advice on routes, places, and practices. He told me of the tale of a man who had appeared on a road in Mexico, claiming he had been waiting for him. Mark swore that he had encountered the very same man thousands of miles, impossibly far away. He told of guns being pulled on him in Guatemala and how he was good either way, as he had lived a blessed full life. We walked into San Ignacio together. He chided a man for being from South Africa and told his girlfriend from London that he hated the place. Minutes later, as a dreadlock panhandler approached us on the street, Mark opened his arms and bellowed, "Are you God?" Both interactions somehow ended with smiles and laughter. Boisterous and blustery, there was no keeping a low profile around this scat. And yet he possessed a sort of force field of playfulness, goodness, and humanity. One got the sense that he was immune from harm. He was a strange hero, a man who had long since detached himself from societal norms and the expectations and perceptions of others. I had come far on this front, but still had a ways to go. People like him help. I recorded our conversation during a short drive we took to the border with Guatemala and back. Then, just like that, he was gone. Our paths joined for less than 18 hours. If I didn't have photographs and recordings of our time together, I might wonder if it had been real at all. 3 months later, I uploaded a video of my first 6 months on the road. The video slowly dissolves from white into a faint recollection of Mexico, Mexico 1, whereupon these words are spoken by Mark. This road here is never ending. You'll find that as you travel, you're always on a road, and you're wondering, does this road ever stop? Of course not. It keeps going round and round because then it leads to a harbor, and then you put the car on the ship, and then that road, and to another road, and it's never ending. I think life is like that. It's never ending. We just become something else, whatever that is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Mark, dude. Um,
Dude, I love that. I love hearing that there are people like that out there, and I've experienced a little bit of that doing Burning Man, because
mhm.
like, and all the hippie shit aside, um, Burning Man is an amalgamation of wacky people and interesting people, and you like that's like Mark sounds like someone I would meet out there, and he'd tell me the story of the man who he picked up and then picked up again thousands of miles down the road, seemingly impossibly, and shit like that. Those those type of road stories always really resonate with me.
Mm. Yeah, he was a beautiful weirdo. He was a treat, man.
Yeah, and I
So
love the way you describe his like, because I've met people like that with a force field of good around them, like
yeah,
impervious to harm. Like no matter where they find themselves in the world, like people just gravitate towards them, and once they're within their, you know, their radius, it's you can't help but feel better and like the guy or the person. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It was he reminded me. I always think of what is the Colonel's? What is Robert Duvall's character in Apocalypse Now, where he's on that beach and those bombs?
yeah,
Kilgore, Lieutenant Kilgore, I think.
yeah, something like that.
Where it's like, and he says that, Martin Sheen, the narrator, says, you just know he wasn't gonna get a scratch. So there's that sense of this guy too. He can be obnoxious, and yeah, he had that kind of light about him. And I've tried to look him up online, but I gotta do better, I guess.
Sitley asks, I was going to jokingly ask Dave what his favorite psychotropic substance is, but now I mean it sincerely. Funny enough, Dave, my buddy Dave, has just celebrated, and correct me if I'm wrong, 28 years of sobriety.
That's right.
28 years. He's been sober longer than he's not been sober. Um,
Yeah, that's true. But the price of that, and there's a reason that people get sober when they're 23, y'all. And I really tore up the pea patch. I really tore up the pea patch.
no, I knew some of the cats he
Yeah.
ran with, and some of them didn't get the help they needed. And I mean, maybe later in life they corrected it, but like they were some wild motherfuckers that he used to run with. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And when I've spoken openly about my time, my short time in AA, and Dave was actually the hand that was there for me to grab onto, thankfully, when I was at, what I thought was my lowest. And it was shortly after a an overnighter in jail. Um and after my fucking birthday. And I was like, "Hey Dave, hey bud. Um I'm not good. I'm just going to say I'm not good right now, and I need help, I think." And he was like, "Yeah, there's a nooner. You should come to the nooner." I'm like, "I don't know if I'm ready for the lingo yet, but okay, it's at noon, is what you're saying? Okay, I'll be at the noon meeting." And I was at that noon meeting 6 days a week for the next, like, 6 months.
Beautiful. Learning opportunity for everyone here. There's the AA was the first program that came up with 12 steps. They also came out later with 12 traditions. And one of the traditions, tradition 11, states that we need to
The
be
ofs
anonymous at at the level of press, radio, and films,
Oh, yeah.
of which I think internet qualifies.
Uh-huh.
So I would invite not invoking that name here. I mean, we could talk about 12-step programs. I don't even blast it on Facebook or anything like that. But for what it's worth, I don't mean to shame. I mean to educate. And I love you, and I'm glad for our time. But
No, I
yes,
thought that
sober.
meant, uh I see, I took that a different way. I honestly thought it meant, the members, not the program itself. So, if I overstep.
Well, well, it's a soft overstep because well the and these traditions are built and um for the worst case scenario. And there's people, imagine, and it's been done right now. I believe that Matthew Perry is out hawking a book and claiming sobriety. He's attaching himself to AA. That is like the best fucking example I can give you. The danger of doing that.
Oh.
Even in the small circles here of 444 people, but it's the principle of doing that. And I don't bat 1,000 every day. So I don't one-on-one, if we're talking at a coffee shop or whatever,
Mhm.
I can share that I'm a member of that program. But it's really dangerous because there's no poster boys or poster girls in AA,
Right.
and nor there should be. We don't want to attach ourselves to any person or politics or religion. It's just been a wonderful thing that has survived because we haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
Um, but I love you, man. You're good.
Okay.
So what I do is I just talk
Duly
about a 12
noted.
I just talk about a 12-step program, and I talk about, I mean, everything
Okay.
was fine. Everything would have been fine, and moving forward, if you ever, for those of you who are learning something right now, you might want to, yeah, go to your room, Zeke. You might want to kind of pass that on because it's inappropriate. AA itself is not anonymous. There's this wonderful thing called AA that'll help you. It's when people attach that it becomes sketchy.
I
But
see what you're saying.
they have a public information committee at the national level where they do commercials. You've probably seen commercials. The organization itself or fellowship or whatever is not anonymous, but we can't attach.
Gotcha.
It's dangerous.
Okay.
All
Duly
right,
noted.
this is where it's going to get a little sketchy. I think I got to switch over, and we're just going to do videos back and forth here.
Oh, right. Now it's
Um,
video time.
yeah, yeah. Now it's vid time. So again, oh, here we go. Here we go. It's rolling. Stop. Stop. God damn it. What did I do? Oh, wait.
You got to share the screen
Stop.
again.
Rewind. I know. I got to do that. But I got to start it up in Discord. I think this will work here.
Yep.
Wait.
Nope. Remember, you
Screw
had to
me.
have another source in Discord.
I know.
No. The reason why Dave brought it up is because one of the principles of the program is not to attach any person, including yourself, to it when talking about it. That's the anonymous thing. So when I said that I had spent time in AA, that was a no, soft no, because I'm attaching my face to an anonymous organization.
No one is ever banned from AA. I didn't mean to. I question whether to even get into it, but as a learning thing, as long as we're here, there's that teacher in me that maybe conflated with being a member too. So I'm sorry if I made shit weird, but no, everybody's always welcome. Everybody's always welcome
Yeah.
in AA, as far as I know. uh, yeah. All right, let's see if this rolls again here.
Do it. I'm ready.
Should do it, man. You good? So that reading that I did will
Yep. Okay, we got
you
sound. We're good.
yeah, this is gonna jack up a little bit here, right?
Yep, we can hear the road sounds.
All right.
This road here is never ending. You'll find that out as you travel. You're always on a road. You're going down. And you're wondering, does the road ever stop? Of course not. It keeps going round and round and round all the, because then it leads to a harbor, and then you put the boat, you put the car on the ship, and then that road is to another road and another road, and it's never ending. Like Disneyland's never ending story.
Right.
So I think life is like that. It's never ending. We just become something else, whatever that is.
Mark, dude.
Yeah.
So again, took 28,000 pictures, came back with 4,000 videos, had a GoPro attached to the windshield, which probably got me out of some sticky situations with at borders and stuff. It just kept law enforcement and people on their toes that they may have been photographed. I heard that's a pretty good idea. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it for this reason, but now I'm really able to pay attention to the chat. So if anybody's got anything, I did put the link to it for use on Twitch. I gotta include some. I found these tunes on YouTube Music, so I could give a little commentary here. Yeah, I guess I could talk about where I am. That's San Cristobal de las Casas. This is in Chiapas. Or maybe I should shut the fuck up and just, one of the characters in the book that is the most constant character was the road, and I have thought about doing a documentary of this. By the way, I've got enough content now that would be pretty compelling. But one of the most constant characters was the road, and it was such an amazing. That was probably the most amazing thing to see the context of the earth and the roads all in one.
Yeah.
In a continuous line, pretty much. It was necessary. There is no land crossable route between Central America and South America. That is known as the Darien Gap, and it is only traversed by human traffickers and drug smugglers and weapon smugglers and just the dregs of society and people that are fleeing Venezuela or trying to get someplace better, to be fair.
Is this video available on the website?
I just posted one. I'll post it again here. This isn't really, unless you kind of dive deep into Project 1000 and get on my user page, or my team member page technically. But I'm just dropped it in the chat there. The original video is.
It has a lot of copywritten music in it. This isn't the original soundtrack for this video.
Correct.
I informed Dave that it's a sticky situation using copywritten music when you want to save videos and stuff. So he provided a different soundtrack with non-copyright music for this.
Yeah, and it works okay, but it's just not. The other one is cut to. Can I even mention the other?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Artist, the original. Okay, the original one is it's cut to "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin, which in the context of this road trip seemed to make sense. Look out for that bus. It's much better to "When the Levee Breaks," and it's such one of the best driving songs I came to.
Yeah, and also the quality is much better. We're getting this video via Discord shared, over from Montana to Denver and shit. So the quality is not nearly as crisp as it would be in its original format. So don't let this what you're seeing now be like the final image you have in your head as there is a high quality version of this available.
Yeah, "When the Levee Breaks," it was that road trip was in my head. It was in my for so long, and it really I mean, the name of that song and everything just fits way better than this. Let's see if I can pick up where we're at here. Oh, by the way, when it says the country, that's how many miles I drove in that country. It'll say when I cross into a new country, it'll pop up at the bottom left.
Oh, okay.
And that's how many miles I drove within that country. I want to say Honduras. No, maybe not.
I love that emote, Killian. What vehicle were you driving, Dave?
The consummate choice of this travel for everybody, of course, is a 2005 Dodge Grand Caravan.
And it was grand.
It was grand. It got its ass kicked, and honestly, I almost would submit that the book was it's almost a love story between me and a 2005 Dodge Grand Caravan. I mean, I there's odes to her in there.
There's odes to your van. Of course there are.
Yeah, yeah. It's all. I mean, that was the second most constant, right? Um, this character was the van. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. She took me places that I had she had no business being on. That neither of us did.
Yeah.
There's
Treacherous
a segment
roads.
in there. This road in El Salvador made me literally cry. I was gonna
You're a
die, and I
goner.
had. Oh, dude! And on the top there was I had a luggage box, a storage box, um, and I had in there for all my camping stuff. I camped through Central America because it was real hot in the van. But but one of the other items in there was a big nice backpack, and that was my bug out bag in case shit went south. Like, okay, I can
Mhm.
put this in there, this in there. I'm gonna need this, and I want to take put my laptop on my front on a backpack backwards on my chest. I got this thing on the back. I can do this, and I really had to start planning it out. Like, I'm gonna dump the fucking van here, and I got out. Um, I had followed the GPS really fucked me a couple times, taking me on the shortest distance between 2 points, which is not always a road. And I popped out of this. Finally, got down this road, and I popped out, and I went to the place. I was shaking. I went up to the front counter at this campsite or whatever, and I said, "You got to tell me there's more than one road out of here." He goes, "No, there's just one road." And I was like, "Fuck!" And I started crying again. And
In front of the guy?
Yeah, dude, I was done. I was done. This is in El Salvador, and I was fucking, I was raw, bro. The rawest I ever was on the trip. I go, you can't. I go, I can't take that road again. So I'm like,
No.
okay, I'm gonna. And then I walked back to my campsite, and there was all these cars there, and they were some like real small cars, and they were all clean. And I'm like, wait a second. And I went in, and I go, tell me about this road in here. And he goes, oh, you go down here the highway, and you just take this highway here. It's paved all the way. I'm like, huh. Well, I took this road. I got off here, and his eyes got kind of big. He goes, that's not a road. He says, that's for donkeys.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a mule cart road. Like, yeah, dude.
It's for fucking donkeys. And I took my poor van through that.
Oh,
my God.
dude.
Oh, it was
Real quick, Inkies, Famigri, if one was to make a contribution to your project, would they just join your website and write and submit there? Is there anything to take into consideration to join it?
like contribute to write for it. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no other considerations. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, as long as you got a picture and 1,000 words exactly. The text editor counter will help you with that. You can write in another application if you want and copy it over.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bar is there's no bar.
You got anybody
There's no bar.
from Finland on your thing yet?
No. And I'll say too that we probably got to figure out. You know, I love this first worldwide audience I've had. So the rule is 1,000 words in the native language. I wanted to try to translate some of these to Spanish, and was like trying to keep it in 1,000 words. That's impossible. You're not gonna the same amount of words in English are not gonna be the same amount of words in Spanish. So it's 1,000 words in the native language, and we'll figure out. That'll just be another task for me to figure out how to, whether I leave it up to Google Translate for the readers to do that, or how. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's all in English right now, so there's no instructions. That might be something.
Yeah. She said 1,000 words in Finnish is so much more than in English.
I'm sure. And, you know, this is the same. It just doesn't add up. So 1,000 words in the native language, and then we got to figure out how to do the instructions in native languages. Oh my God, I can't do that right now. I can't do that during this thing. Sure.
So it's not
All right,
English only then.
Oh, correct. Yeah, we'll just have to figure out how to. Oh boy, we're off.
Yep. You need to do the share thing again.
I know. Hold on.
Okay. Captain Wilhelm, thank you for 37 months. So in Finnish, I'm guessing like there's a lot of one words that are in English would be many words combined into one word, right? Is that what you're saying? Like if you're saying like I went to the store, that's I went to the store. 5 words in English, it might be like 2 words in Finnish. Is that like, am I getting the idea? All right. Yeah. we don't use articles. So like in the house would be to los. Oh my God. Yeah. No articles. No an and the. Oof.
Are you live yet again? No, it's not working.
No, I can't hear you. Or I can't hear the video. Dude, you just did this with the other video.
I know. Hold on. Oh shit! I'm not getting into Discord. Hold on. Don't shame me. This is hard.
No, it's hard. 12 years. I still struggle with shit. Audio and video.
All right, that should do it.
There you go. That looked right.
Yeah. All right, part 2.
Yep. Okay, there we go. We got sound. Oh, are we
Again,
gonna get a little dubstep now?
Is that what that is? I don't.
No, I'm kidding. It just sounds like the start of a dubstep song. But this is let me see if I can pronounce it right. This is Nicaragua.
See? Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
And I just posted the this is not the original music. And the original music for this one is Jose Gonzalez. My destination was the end of the road, man. The end of the road in South America. I was going all the way to Ushuaia, Argentina. By the way, go Argentina in the World Cup finals on Sunday morning, I believe.
Oh, are they in the finals? Nice.
Yeah. It's going to be Argentina versus France.
Yeah, so Dave started in Billings, Montana, which is, the northern part of the United States, and then traveled all the way to close to the southern tip of Argentina. In a 2005 Dodge Grand Caravan. Now, did you pick the Dodge Grand Caravan not only because of its roominess, but because of its like unobtrusive, unassuming nature? It's like no one's going to assault that van because it looks like it's owned by a mom with 3 kids.
Yeah, honestly, it just kind of fell in. There was a suspicious sequence of events that happened, and it kind of fell into my lap. I was at a 12-step meeting, wink, and this guy said, I put it out there, and I said, hey, I got a buddy who's selling a van. I'm like, okay, and I went with him to look at it after the meeting that night, and it was very suspicious. I mean, it was just beautiful. And it had just been sitting for a while. It would have been salvaged out due to a hailstorm, which we get up here a lot. But yeah, and it turned out I had to stop a couple times and get preventative work. I never broke down, never got a blown tire. It was amazing. She was a fucking warrior, and but I had to do preventative work with brakes and suspension because I probably crossed over, I don't even know, 3,000, 5,000 speed bumps between here and the end of the road. I mean, a disturbing amount because people don't pay attention to traffic signs, but you got to pay attention to a speed bump, right?
Yeah. You hit that first one going, 40. You're like, You're looking out for the next one for sure.
Yeah. So the van did not make it back to Billings.
We are now in Colombia.
See, estamos en Colombia. So there's no land route. I forgot to finish that. From Panama, you have to ship. You can do roll-on, roll-off ferries, but most people do a container. It's less expensive. You share a 40-foot container. I shared mine with a couple from Australia that were shipping their van from Colón, Panama to Cartagena, Colombia. And yeah, that's Colombia. So at the end of the road, in Ushuaia, Argentina. Look out for that bus. Then I turned north and traveled in and out of Chile, Argentina, and ended up selling the van finally in Talca, Chile, and then rented an apartment in Valparaiso, Chile for about 6 weeks. Edited the photos, tagged the photos, and then came back, flew home from Valparaiso, actually Santiago to Billings.
Nice. So was it a relaxing time? Was it a relaxing time staying those 6 weeks?
Oh yeah, I needed that badly. There was no, I mean, it would have been such a fucking shock. Topes, that is what we call them. We call them topes. Yes, speed bumps. Sorry, speed bumps are topes. Well, oh yeah, it was necessary to take that. It was kind of like a chamber. What's the interchamber before you go out into space?
The airlock
or what? Airlock. Yeah, it was kind of my spiritual, emotional like airlock, because I was coming home to a place that I did not want to come back to at the time, and still kind of don't. So
I got out of there, dude. I'm so much happier.
Oh no, I'm talking about the country, bro.
Oh.
But yeah, coming back in the middle of 2018 was not cool, I'll say. All right, so Grand Voyager to Estonia. Oh my God, Grand Voyager. They're real similar. I know the Dodge Grand Caravan and the Chrysler Town and Country are. I think they're legitimately sister vehicles. So I assume that Grand Voyager is close.
We are now in Peru.
Yeah, absolutely. Peru is the most varied landscape I ever saw. I mean, they have Amazon jungle, Andes mountains, thousands of miles of coastline, obviously.
Did you get to meet Andy?
Of desert. Andy?
The one the mountains are named after.
Andy. Yeah, it was a real bummer to find out your mountain heroes, because that guy is a straight up jizz bag who stole like one of my cooking pans.
Improv, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know why they call them the Andes. Cookie pans. Cookie pants. I'll take that though.
Your cookie pants.
I'll take it. I like the idea of cookie pants.
Hello, Devol. Thank you for the 18 months. 66 more months and you're golden. That's correct.
The only place I've been back up to Tisek, I've been in Germany, out of those countries. Oh boy, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
We're almost there. I don't even think I'm going to show one of my last videos. I'll leave it up to you guys. I've got one more travel video, and then I don't want to do that one. I think that's going to do it right there, maybe. Where would you rather live instead of the U.S.? I've done a lot of searching. I've done a lot of researching on this, visually, and videos and whatnot. There's some places that are lovely in Mexico. Guanajuato, I'm interested in. Some places on the Yucatan, those cenotes are really haunting. I love Colombia. Was the biggest surprise just because of all the mala fama, which is disrepute that Pablo Escobar brings. He's much more a hero here than he is in his home country. He created a lot of havoc, murdered a lot of people, took down fucking planes, passenger planes. Really, real jerk, as it turns out. And so Colombia's lovely, Peru, some of those places. But I was probably I'm probably partial to Chile, southern Chile, where there's fjords. And mountains and mist and lakes and fucking lovely. I mean, I get chills thinking about it. That southern, but it would be just lovely to cross kind of back and forth. There's border crossings between Chile and Argentina at the south there, that are really lovely.
Nice.
Also, to be honest, back to Ireland for a second. I've been there twice. Love Ireland. I would take Ireland. Been to Italy. Love Italy. Spain, the northern coast of Spain. There's a kind of a similarity here. They're just separated by a sea, right? Ireland and northern Spain. So it stands to reason that I really like the northern coast of Spain too. But the people in Ireland are fucking grand. All right, let's see if this will roll here. Anything?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There we go.
All right, so this is the last part of the last 4 months, and I will drop one last little paste here. This is not the original video.
Still in Peru. Or do they call it Peru?
Still in Peru.
Okay, so that is a roll. Peru.
Well, there's no roll. There's just an accent on the end. Peru. I'm not trying not to roll. Sometimes I struggle with that.
No, you say R's like D's. Peru.
Well, I think that's accurate. I think it shouldn't be quite a D, but maybe a little softer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of gringo that you hear come out probably. That's the Reserva Natural de Paracas. Really amazing spot. But again, like desert and then ocean. I mean, pretty amazing shit. Palcoyo. I had a friend. That's right where I camped at 16 or hiked around 16,000 feet. This is coming up on Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, Copacabana. Took a ferry to go over to get the hills of Sorata. There were people on the mountain passes in Bolivia. It was very sad. Kids begging for money, etc.
Mm-hmm. What's the poorest place you visited?
Bolivia in South America. It was Bolivia, but El Salvador and Honduras are hurting. Probably El Salvador.
Okay. Now we're in Argentina.
Argentina was the place I traveled the most, just because it's fucking massive. Both Argentina and Chile are just about the same north to south distance, but Argentina is just massive, and it really reminds me of Montana, especially Patagonia. Montana has mountains in the west, and it gets kind of flat and dry in the east, and the same is true kind of north to, well, I should say east, north to south or whatever in Patagonia. It's kind of dry in the north, mountains in the south. So it was real reminiscent of Montana, Patagonia, which we're just about entering right now. That's San Agustin. Does that look like Montana, Zach?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not that, but some of this. Look at that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Boom, big
That
time,
right there.
man.
Yep.
That could easily be, and that.
Yep.
It's just a huge chunk of it. And the wind in Patagonia, like right here, it was blowing. It had to be 50, 60 mile per hour wind for fucking hundreds of miles in Patagonia.
Yeah, I never thought about like having a camera. Oh, now you're in Chile.
Yep.
Never thought about having a camera being like kind of a deterrent for, shenanigans in different countries, because you never know who's like. I'm sure people see the camera, they never know who's watching, or if it's being live streamed somewhere or whatever.
Yeah. This is the southern Chile I was talking about. I mean, just beautiful. Rainy. Now we're coming out of it into probably the lakes region, maybe. There's different regions. There's a rivers region and the lakes region, and then there's Puerto Varas. Hey, there's Puerto Varas. Someone mentioned that. I did have a video of Puerto Varas. Yeah, Chile was the prize, man. As far as, I mean, it was all lovely, but I was real partial to Chile. And there's a place I stayed on the coast called, fuck, what's the name of it? I'll think of it.
I was still waiting. I was waiting for the end of that video to just be like a video of you finding a dead end and then just stopping.
I had my grand plan was to ghost ride the van off the end of South America. Was just let it fucking fly into the ocean there, and it didn't happen because you can't really. I mean, you probably technically could do that.
Yeah,
but I was glad not to have done it because then I got to drive north a bit more and take my time and see some more stuff, which would have been difficult without the van.
Yeah,
had I trashed it.
So, in your travels, I'm curious about how was there a lot of English speaking or not? Like, what percentages of countries would you say had a pretty good English speaking or bilingual population?
Well, I imagine it would be hard to. It's hard for me to gauge because I wasn't beholden to it, and
Right.
I didn't really, you know what I mean? It would be different if I had been to. Different people would have different answers for that. I
Sure.
think the farther you get away, probably the less English is spoken. But
Okay.
if you're in tourist towns, for instance, or
Sure.
or whatever, you're gonna find some English there. But I honestly kind of tried to walk away from it. If I heard English, I'm like, I'm in the wrong place.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, totally.
You know, that being said, there's a lot of I camped at a lot of campsites, especially. There's not much in Central America, but South America, there's more especially in Patagonia and Chile and Argentina. There's better camping places, and a lot of those, it still kind of is the universal language. And people from Europe especially speak 3 or 4 languages, English usually being one. But yeah, so I was able to do it, but like I said, I didn't need to.
Right. Did you find like people apprehensive to speak to you in Spanish because of you look like a white dude?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I was when I was clipping around a little bit, there were people that asked me, where are you from? And they were probably saying, what part of Europe, maybe other than Spain, are you from?
Right. Right.
But to be fair, I mean, and especially in Argentina, there's a lot of the profile of a Spanish speaker, dark hair, dark skin, whatever, goes out the window because it's very European. There's a
Okay.
heavy, much more European influence in South America. So
Okay.
the prototypical Spanish speaker is non-existent. So
Okay. I was just curious if you got outed as an American just by how you look, and apparently, in most places in South America, you don't.
yeah, the license plate didn't help. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I'm
was,
sure. Yeah.
so there was that. But otherwise, yeah, I probably. But most people, I mean, if you think about people coming from other countries and speaking English, however, obviously a non-native speaker, but easily able to keep up with most conversations I ever had. It's a pleasure to talk with people and just have them speak your languages. I think it's the ultimate form of respect. So that saved me from a lot of probably bribes and a lot of shit I would have been given. It's really tough when someone opens their mouth and they're giving your language a hell of a shot. It's hard. It's real hard to be a dick.
Is it predominantly Spanish and Portuguese
Where
in South America?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at the northern tip there's I think there's still French Guiana. or maybe it's just Guyana now, but that's probably heavy French. But yeah, Brazil's all Portuguese. They probably speak a little Spanish here and there too, um, but yeah, otherwise Spanish, 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 man. I mean, I'm the poster boy for why to learn Spanish. I mean, it is, the second most spoken in this hemisphere, probably single most spoken. I mean, it's arguable probably second with population, but as far as expanse, I mean, probably pretty close. Why to learn Spanish, and then you get to go to Spain, Philippines. Part of the Philippines is sprinkled with Spanish, I believe. That's all over, man. It's a good one to know. Is that true? Guyana and French Guiana are two different countries. Good to know.
French Guiana, part of France.
Right. I just watched Papillon not too long ago. That old movie with Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen. Anyone? No. That was a dreary
Not ringing any bells
picture.
for this guy.
That was a dreary picture of Guyana, or French Guiana, I suppose.
In Brazil, at least south, sometimes it's easier to find people talking Portuguese and English rather than Portuguese and Spanish.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Well, dude, that was awesome. That was amazing. I love hearing your stories from the road, dude. And I love seeing the video from it and all that shit. Let's before we let you go here, like, what do you want to say? Anything you want to give the people?
I would just defer back here to Project 1000. I mean, this is a place where you can find the book on every page, but really, in the most recent 5 submissions are here. It's been a while. I'm the last one to write one in May, so I could use some more users. And but it's a good place to read stuff and write stuff and share stuff, and it's good for teachers and educators and social justice groups. I want social justice groups to be able to create groups, and so their people can be writing. I always think of Pride. A Pride group. I'll go here because I'm not going to show the video, but this is a refugee shelter that I was at in southern, northern Mexico. I was going to say in Nogales, but it seemed right to create them a group on here. So this is a place called Casa de la Misericordia in Nogales, Mexico, where they help migrants, refugees that are on the run and looking for a better life legally. So things can create groups and then have people contribute to that group. Again, I always kind of go back to Pride. Like, how awesome would it be for the LGBTQ community to come in here, tell their stories, and have allies tell their stories, a picture in 1,000 words at a time, and then reach out and connect with other groups that are doing the same, and other people this stuff can all be shared on every page down here.
While we're on the main page here, if I wanted to submit a picture in 1,000 words, click me through it. If I was just a regular user and I wanted to submit a picture in 1,000 words, how do I click it?
Well, there should be. I'm on an admin page now, but there should be one that says access here if you're not a user. And I took the note earlier to have a bigger button to how to sign up for it, and I'll do that. Okay. But right now, if you're not a user, you're going to find an access menu to the right of this, or in place of this one, actually. So you're going to need to log in, sign up. Then once you get signed up, if you wanted to go and create a submission, you should have that possibility to create a new submission here. Or if not, you can go to your work menu here. You can start a submission or create a collection. Collection is a grouping of your personal submissions. So that's honestly what this road trip kind of is.
Okay, hold on one sec, Dave. I'm going full screen for a second so I don't show any personal information, and I'm going to go to your site and show them. There we go. Okay. I'm going to go to your site, and this is what Dave's talking about. There's an access part right here, and it says, you can leave it on what you're on, Dave. Okay. There's an access site. It says sign up. You hit the sign up, and you can go settings, put in all your personal info, and then user type, contributor, if you want to. Like if you want to contribute your 1,000 words, your picture in 1,000 words, contributor, and then you do your city, your country, all that stuff. And there you go. I agree. And then you create your own account.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I didn't know how to jump off and do it incognito or log off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can go through it on incognito mode. Right. But yeah, the book is for sale right now. If you want to check it out, this is what it looks like. It's a full color like magazine book. It's like one of those special like Life magazine examines the year 2022, and it's like, coffee table size book, pictures in 1,000 words.
And again, if you want the simple one, just to send yourself, just add to cart. But if you want to send it to multiple people to send out to ship some as gifts, by the way, this is the part of the reason we timed this in today, was the arrive by Christmas deadline for USPS, the U.S. Postal Service, is tomorrow.
Right.
So if you want to send to various people, go ahead and let me know here. One book to John Doe, one book to Zeke, one book to your whatever. I can mail those out, and we'll figure out how to charge you for all that. And I'll send you. You give me the info, and I'll send you a little invoice on PayPal. It's a little clumsy because I'm not good at all the PHP programming it would take and calculations and Twig and shit like that. So, yeah.
So yeah, it's an indie operation through and through.
But that's kind of I have somebody said, "Oh, you need to fix this and this." I'll take the notes. But the beauty of this, it's really not this fancy ass beautiful thing, which I don't know, at some point if it merits it, the upgrades or whatever. But otherwise, it's a pretty stripped down words and stories, pictures and stories type thing right now. It's not. It's purposefully. I've done this all fucking myself. So it's been a rough little go, but I think it serves its purpose for right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't had anybody complaining about overload, so I'm pretty fucking happy about that.
Good. Put yourself back on screen here, Dave. There you go. Dave, thank you for joining us, and thank you for telling us about your project and your website and your new book and stuff. Dude, I really, really hope this takes off for you, because I know how fucking passionate you are about this shit.
Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. Thanks you guys for sticking around, and those of you who did it. Please forward the information to anyone, as far as the site and contributing to the site. If you want to buy a book, that's great. But really, I want to create a little world here, a nice little world where people can tell stories and connect and stuff like that. So, carry on.
Yeah, man. Clap, clap, clap. Everybody clap. That was good stuff. Thanks, Dave. Love you, brother.
Take care, y'all.
All right. I'm going to disconnect the call, Dave.
All right, buddy.
All right. See you, bud.
Bye.
All right. That was it. Project 1000. Thank you. Huge thank you to my buddy David Overturf for joining me for that. Always really cool to see, well-traveled individuals talk about and show their travels and stuff. Places that I've never been and may never go. Really super cool. Thanks again, Dave.